So I just want to talk about whiskey in general and is that your favorite booze? Not that you have to have one.
No, you know what's no, it's funny because like beer was always when I was young.
Yeah, me too.
Chug beer, and then I got over beer at some point. Like I like to have a beer. Like I have beer in our fridge, and we have it sometimes once in a while. You know what I mean? Or if I go out baseball games, I'll have a beer. But for the most part, no other liquor appeals to me anymore other than whiskey. Like vodka doesn't mean shit to me because it doesn't. It's basically just rubbing alcohol with whatever flavor you put in it.
Yeah, right. Vodka is just like the universal, like nothing's there, and
it's blank. It's boring. It's whatever you put. So when you say I'm drinking a vodka blank, it's like, oh, so you're just drinking it's just cranberry juice. Yeah, it's just that's all you just have booze in it, you know. Yeah. But then I can't do tequila because I just don't love it. Scotch is good. I like to sip on scotch. You know, like I've got some
whiskey. Just
different, right? Yes and no.
I don't understand all this. Maybe you can explain it to me, but I don't understand. It's always like this whiskey comes from here, this whiskey comes from there. I'm like, but it's all whiskey. Right. But I guess it's not. Scotch
has to come from. I mean, to be Scotch, kind of like how wine has to be from certain parts to be.
Yeah. But when they go, champagne's only from this region. But like, if you get it from another region, it's still the exact same shit.
Not to them, it's not. I don't know.
It's semantic. Like bourbon and Scotch taste different.
Dramatically so. Yes, they do. Yeah. It's because the process in which it's made is literally physically different. So Scotch is usually drier and more peatier. Bourbon tends to be more sweeter. You know, like Scotch is whiskey, bourbon is right? Sweet. Bourbon is significantly sweeter, right? But I'm a big bourbon guy, and I've always been a bourbon guy because. There's something about the flavoring to me that's not too sweet, but I could drink it on the rocks or I can drink it up. You're supposed to drink Scotch up, and
Scotch up, yeah. Although
I don't love it.
You don't love Scotch.
I like it. I mean, I have some great fucking Scotch up there, but I just don't. It's just I don't know.
Depends what kind too. I'll tell you all the people who say like you don't drink Scotch on the rocks or you don't drink Scotch with whatever, and then you go to Scotland and ask, and they're like, no, you can do whatever you want. We don't.
Yeah,
we're not as into like the kind of elitism that you guys are.
So funny. I went to Buffalo Trace. They've been like really good and sponsored my show. And I went to, when I was in Kentucky for shows, I was like, hey, can I come to the distillery? And they're like, what? Of course, you can fucking do whatever you want. Come here and get wasted. So I go down there and I was chatting with them and the master distiller. I was talking to him and I was like, what's the right way to drink any of this stuff? Like, is there a definitive answer? And he goes,
what he's going to say. Yeah.
He goes, how do you like it? How do you like he goes, if I asked you, how do you like it? I go, well, I'm kind of a big fan of a couple of stones. I like 2 or 3 rocks in there just to give it a little bit of water. And sometimes like, a splash of club soda or a splash of ginger sometimes depending on, what I want. And he goes, great. And I was like, so he's like, yeah, then that's how you have it. Yeah. He's like, there's literally no such thing. He said there has been a false narrative pushed around for some reason that people have like solidified. This is what you're supposed to do with whiskey or bourbon or Scotch. It's totally fabricated. None of it means anything.
It's like a preferred thing. They always do that at restaurants too. Like you don't put salt on the food of a fine restaurant. I'm like, then why is there salt on the table?
Yeah, why? If it's here, I'll eat it however the fuck I want to eat it. That's been the whole thing. He opened my eyes. Was like, why? What rule would tell you couldn't? He goes, and even if there was this fake social rule, you don't have to adhere by it. So
you don't like it that way. So what is the difference?
It doesn't matter.